enjoy helping other people?
Well, in my own, in my case, I think that it's just simply important to look after others and not just yourself. It's a value I would like to say. I quite like to hold on to it as much as I possibly can, because that's how you reflect love towards others. So that's what I try to do.
Do you expect something as a return when you help people?
No, I think when you look at how love is, especially, I understand love from the relationship that I have with God, and obviously what I've read from the Bible as well, and I see that love doesn't expect anything in return. It loves. It doesn't necessarily ask to be loved back. That's true.
Well, when things bad happen, do you think it's easy for you to forgive people?
For me, no. I think the easy answer directly is just the same one.
Okay.
However, I know that I must forgive because, again, I've been forgiven of all of the sins that I've committed as well. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Alright, let's move on to how you spend time when you have weekends. Do you prefer spending time alone or with other people?
So from a day-to-day basis, I prefer always to just spend my time alone, not really with others, because I don't know exactly for what reason why I'm like that, but I just like to spend my day-to-day basis alone with myself, and as well as on the weekends as well. So preferably, yes, I just like to spend my time alone.
Alright, so let's move on to part 2. I have a paper with some questions. I give you the paper and a pencil. I give you a minute to write a draft about your answers before you are given 1 to 2 minutes to talk about it. Okay? 1 minute, start now. 30 seconds. Ten seconds. Okay, time is up. You are given a minute to 2 minutes to talk about a person who showed great kindness to others. Time is yours.
And so the person who I'd like to describe who showed great kindness to others is Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So I picked him primarily because he sacrificed himself basically to be put on the cross in order to give a way for us, humanity, who are in our fallen state, sinners, and we cannot save ourselves. So he became that door, he became that sacrifice for us to, in order to take the penalty of our sins so that we can be connected back to God. And he gave a way for us to be able to have that salvation and eternal security forever like that. So that affected me, obviously, because in my early life as well, I always kind of lived my life just who knows what, like I don't care how I live, like, so he gave purpose in my life, he gave eternal security, he gave joy, he gave peace among all things, and I know that one day when I die, I'll be in heaven with him. So that's what he did for me, and as a person who showed great kindness towards others, I don't think there is anybody more great than him.
That's it. Thank you. Let's move on to part 2. Alright, so let's get started with humans' behavior. Why do you think people sometimes tend to behave badly?
Why I think people tend to be badly, I think it's honestly one simple answer. I think the root of all things that we do is because of sin. I think that because of our nature to sin, we tend to always do the bad thing instead of the right thing.
The right thing. Okay. Can society change human behavior? What do you think?
I think that society on a base level can affect how people think, how people tend to behave, but I think that at the root of it, you cannot naturally solve the problem of sin, because as long as we are here, we will sin, and that's not something that we can break out of ourselves.
Alright, let's move on to technology and humanity. What do you think about this statement? Social media make human less human.
Social media makes humans to be less human. Well, on a personal level, I don't really understand what that sentence means, but if I were to take it from my own understanding of what that sentence means, I think that it removes the certain humanity that we as humans have, no? Like perhaps the innocence, you could say, because there are certain things in on social media that are questionable, and I don't perceive it to be right for them to be there. So I think in a way, it's robotic. Like, for example, we spend a lot of time on social media just like doom scrolling and whatnot, and that's sort of robotic because, again, we aren't supposed to be doing things like those. So that's what I perceive to be correct for that sentence, at least from what I understand, but I would probably advise anyone who hears this to take it with a grain of salt, because I don't really understand what it means. To me, it's a bit abstract.
Okay, no problem. Alright, last question. How do you think AI, artificial intelligence, change humans' behavior in the future?
I think that artificial intelligence, first of all, is an incredible piece of technology that humans have invented as well. Especially me, at least in my own personal case, knowing a little bit about programming and coding to understand even the smallest bit of how humanity managed to make something like this is obviously incredible. But it's also terrifying because artificial intelligence, again, in its own name, is artificial intelligence. And last time I also heard where this is an AI model called ChatGPT 5.4 Pro, and a college student actually used this AI model, paid $20 subscription, right? And they gave a certain math problem that no one was really able to solve for a whole decade or something like that, for many, many, many years. And then he put the prompt inside of ChatGPT. ChatGPT thought for 80 minutes for an answer, gave back with a proper answer, to which like a mathematician, someone like Terence Tao approved. And yeah, I think it's terrifying for that matter, because the intelligence is it's not scalable. There's the potential is the sky, and maybe the natural fear of someone is obviously like whether or not AI will take over.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's the end of speaking part 3. Thank you very much, Ken. Have a nice day.